pleasure. Okay. Now we have the second most very interesting animal. This is called a hermit crab. Okay, this is actually called a white-spotted hermit crab. You can see because of the spots. Now, crabs, what happens is many most marine animals, the skeleton now in us, the skeleton is made of bone, right? But in marine biodiversity, many of the animals they have got skeletons from clams to corals to many of these crabs, and they have got shells or the skeleton made up of calcium carbonate. As I said, calcium carbonate is your limestone or your chalk used on a blackboard. Okay. Now all this carbonate is acquired from the ocean. Okay. So basically, it is form of salts. Now what they do is they eat a lot of food. They have to use the energy to make these shells. Now making these shells, like building our home or building anything, needs energy. So what these crabs have done, instead of making most of the crabs, you will see that they have got many very bulky shells. So this hermit crab was very smart. Instead of making its own shell and making a very hard shell, what it did, it saw a lot of these old snail shells just fallen around, dead snails, and other kind of animals which it would have used. So instead of wasting energy into and keeping on eating and using the energy to make its own shell, it started using shells of other animals. Okay, so from very young age, what these crabs have is that the rest of the body will have a strong skeleton, but the stomach will be like a hook. Okay, and that hook from a very young age, it's looking out for shells of other animals. Okay, so like from young age, our parents also, as we keep on growing up, we have to keep changing our clothes. They buy us new clothes, and we overgrow the clothes that we have earlier, right? So the same way, these hermit crabs also, since a very old age, they go when they are born, they go and out and do a shell, and as they keep on growing bigger, they keep on changing the shell that they find. So here we have another animal called boring clam. Now, what's interesting is these are clams which bore or literally burrow themselves into the rock. Yeah, they have got enzymes which can dissolve in rock, and as they keep on growing from a small larva to big, they keep on dissolving and going inside the rock. So what you hear is only the lip of the clam, and you can see beautiful colors. Here many different colors, many different varieties, and very interesting these animals. And they are basically filter feeders. What they do is they keep sucking in water, and they will then filter the water out. In the sense, they will eat any kind of larvas, any kind of eggs, or any small planktons, zooantums, diatoms, whatever there are in the water. They eat those kind of small, tiny animals, and then they'll spit the water out. So they are basically filter feeders. So over here, we have this very beautiful pattern like a Christmas tree. Now, can anyone guess which kind of animal this could be? Do you think it's a plant or it's an animal? If it's an animal, which kind of animal do you think it is?
Sir, I
Anything
think
that
it's a plant.
you feel similar? Okay. Any other guesses? It looks like a very
Filter
beautiful
feeder.
flower, right? Yes, it is a filter feeder. That's a really good answer. But what kind of? There are so many different kind of filters. What kind of animal do you think it is? It's so colorful. What kind of animal do you think of when you see so colorful and so brilliantly structured animal? Okay, so most likely people think it's a plant, but it's actually an animal. Okay, this actually is a worm called a Christmas tree worm. The reason you can see because the entire this part looks like a Christmas tree. So actually, as one of the kids said, it's actually a filter feeder. So what do you see over here? This entire Christmas tree kind of pattern is actually its tentacles. So the tentacles form like a comb. Okay, if when we are combing our hair, there are a lot of water, there is dandruff or water, there is juice or water there is in the hair that comes out, right? The same way, by having this kind of tentacles like comb, we can filter through the water and water kind of eggs, larvae. You can see these in the image. You can see that there are these small dots in the water. These are all the small egg, larvae, planktons, and zooxanthellae floating in the water. That's what these eat. And here, what they have is the rest of the body will be inside the coral. and only the mouth part will be outside. So these beautifully colored animals are actually worms. And that's what is another fantastic feature of the marine animals, is that it will just flip your mind out. Then once during my internet walk, I found this small juvenile squid. Yeah, you can see how this squid is. You can see how the eyes are very big in comparison to the rest of the body. So actually, these squids, octopus, and cuttlefish, all these are relatives of snails. But they have developed a much better eyesight. They have developed much better brains that they can use to hunt and be brilliant predators. In comparison to my hand, how tiny this is.
Sir, you don't feel scared to touch these organisms because these are very squishy type of organisms. Slimy.
So basically, see, I would never recommend anyone to touch any animals. Okay, and when it comes to biodiversity and anything, even this is one rule that I do not ever touch anything that I do not know about. Yeah, only if you have the knowledge, then you can decide what to do and what not to. Okay, so I never touch anything that I do not know anything about. Okay, so I know that this क्या बोलते हैं, now this animal was so tiny that I couldn't capture the image in the camera. It was small and it was very fast at swimming. So that's why I just want to capture these photographs to show how these small animals and you can see chromatophores of all this we can say squid. I wanted to capture this image for my own understanding. That's why I actually trapped it and picked it a bit out of water and then took the image. Yeah, but immediately I let it down. Okay, it's very important that you do not touch anything that you do not know anything about. Even in forest, for that matter, do not touch any leaf or plant or anything that you do not know about. Never to eat anything that you don't know about. Yeah, it can be very dangerous for you. Okay,
Sir,
even
it can also be
you can
venomous.
say fungi, sponges. Huh? Yeah, exactly. So
Also
it
be
can be
venomous.
poisonous, it can be wet, it can hurt you, it can attack you. So that's why you have to be, whenever you're going for a nature trail or doing any of these experiences, it's better to go along with a person who has the knowledge of this field.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So here we have another very interesting fish, which is called a scorpion fish. A very related to also a fish called stonefish that many of you might know. These fish are fantastic at camouflage. Even the scorpion fish are fantastic at camouflage. There is a. I was very lucky to be able to see this guy. His surrounding is just perfect. The only reason I was able to notice is because of its eyes. Or else it would have been very difficult for me to notice it. And many of these animals are have venomous spine on their back, so that protects anyone who is about to step on them or attack them. And these are ambush predators. Ambush predators means predators that will hide and wait for the animals or the prey to come to them. Usually, most of the other animals are active predators. Where they will, even tigers and other animals are ambush predators, but they will actually actively attack and chase after the prey. Yeah, but these ambush predators will literally hide at the last moment and allow the fish to come very close to the mouth, and then they will gobble and eat them. That's why the camouflage becomes very handy. Another animal with really fantastic camouflage is the stone crab. Here you can see it also has this hair. This hair is more for the purposes of camouflage. So this hair actually mimics the algae that are found on the rocks around it. That allows it to camouflage very well in the habitat. It's very difficult to see this animal also in the rocky areas because the color very similar to the stones that you find in these areas, and also the hair looks like the algae that are on the rocks. Another very interesting animal is this. This is the spider conch. Okay. Now most of the snails are very passive. They usually eat algae. They usually eat other smaller kind of plants or things like that. But this is a very active hunter, and again a fantastic at underside. The top side is brilliantly camouflaged with algae and other kind of plant material growing on top of its shell. But when you topple it over, you see this brilliant color on the bottom of it. Yeah, interesting. Here you can see the eyes of this animal. Okay, goofy looking cartoon like eyes, right? So this spider conch is actually a protected species. At the same time, what is very interesting, it's a hunter. Okay, in the sense it will hunt other snails. Okay, so because of that, it has a very much better developed eyesight. Most of the other snails, as they eat algae or sponges or other kind of smaller organisms that do not move, they do not have a very well developed eyesight, and they will just slide over the bottom of the rocks and skip the algae on top of it and eat that. But this guy, as a hunter, it has a much better developed eyesight. So this is a mantis shrimp. Again, this is one of the most interesting animals that I feel is what we can say. I really appreciate, because this animal has it has got small club-shaped hands, and it is locked inside. So this animal usually eats other snails and clams. So what it does, these animals have very hard shells. So this club-shaped arm that it has, it gets launched at such incredible speeds that when it hits, it creates a instantaneous power enough to the surface temperature of the sun. Yeah, and it creates literally a sound boom, and that's how powerful and fast it is, and cracks open shells and then later on eats the animal inside. So what I'm saying is, doesn't do justice. You must actually go and look out for videos of this animal called praying mantis, and you should sorry, not praying mantis, sorry, mantis shrimp. And you should actually see the videos and of this animal. It's just incredible. On YouTube also you will find a lot of videos, and this is a really incredible animal for that matter. This is again, when you think of some animals that you see on land, for example slugs, you might see a very squishy and very discolored animal, but sea slugs in the ocean are some of the most incredibly colored and incredibly diverse animals that you can see. There are some divers and some people who just go for diving to see sea slugs, and there's some people who are just fanatic and hobbies to just like to see different varieties of sea slug and like to document those. So sea slugs are a different kind of hobby, and the varieties that they have and the characters that they have makes them so special in the marine areas. It's just amazing.